Hey guys, Tova Privet here, Emerald Ambassador, and I just wanted to take a few minutes today to chat about something that most of us are doing, but you might feel a little confused on or need some guidance. So that is really tracking follow ups. So we know with our industry, people are being sold to on so many different fronts, and we're so stimulated by social media that the average is 10 to 15 touches now for someone to truly consider buying the products and having serious conversations. Of course, there's exceptions to those on both ends, but that's what we need to mentally plan for. We really need to, I'd say, aim for 12 touches with people. So let's say you're talking to 3 people a day, 30 days a month, that's 90 people, and you're going to have to follow up with them over 10 times. So just for 1 month, that's going to result in 900 touches times 12. You guys see where I'm going with this. So there has to be a way. So I'm kind of going to go over 3 options that I have seen work best. And I encourage you, don't try to fit into something you're not. If you hate Excel and Excel stresses you out and overwhelms you, then don't use Excel, okay? Find, there's lots of things out there. There's lots of apps, there's lots of options. Find what feels good to you. The only systems that work are the systems that you actually use. And with your teams and your downline, don't try to put your system necessarily on them. Give them a few choices. Different personality types will fit together better with different tracking systems. So, first option, old school paper. Okay, so if you make a Frank's list each month, this is a great way to track it. If you don't know what Frank's list is, just Google it and you'll find it. But you're writing the names down of the people, and guys, it can be as easy as like writing all their names down and then highlighting them once you talk to them, then just putting little hash marks or little checks. So it doesn't have to be anything complicated. Another thing I've seen people do is note cards. Like you can get a lot of note cards for pretty cheap, or even a paper cutter. You can kind of make your own with cardstock. But I mean, Amazon has bulk note cards for cheap. So if you talk to 3 people on a day, and you kind of put the date on there that you talked to them, then you can put that at the back of the stack and just work your way through that. So if you're a paper person, if electronic things kind of overwhelm you, you want to tangibly see everybody at once. In essence, if you did a Frank's list each month, you'd have 12 pieces of paper to go through. As you do this longer and longer, I think that becomes a little arduous and it's hard for people to not slip through the cracks. For me personally, so I really enjoy using Excel. I got into tracking really stuff to do more with my stories with Excel, and then it turned into a follow up tracker. So the nice thing about Excel is you have all these different sorting options, and it's really easy to learn. You don't have to know all the things about Excel and spreadsheets and formulas. You don't need to know that stuff. You literally select a column and right click. You can sort it by date, you can sort it by alphabet. And that's really the only 2 things that I use. So I have people's names on there, and I kind of have my full contact list on there that I gather from a lot of different places. And then I've established a little color coding system. So if they're already on Plexus, or they're just one of my contacts that's maybe a business partner or a happy customer, then I turn them pink. And I can even put dates in there that I've checked in with them. And then people that I've talked to about Plexus that aren't quite ready to buy, this is the important category that you really need to track. Or I turn them orange, and then I put the date that I talked to them. I should have 12 dates past their name. So that's what I should plan to do. So as I scroll down my Excel, I can kind of see columns back and forth of how far down the timeline I've taken people. So we like to tell ourselves we followed up a lot more than sometimes we have. So that's a good check. You can see the dates right there, and can't convince yourself otherwise. I don't suggest, if you like the idea of this, I don't suggest you sit down and take 8 hours or 2 or 3 days to enter all your contacts and go back and look at every single conversation you've had with them and put the dates. No, just start today, and then as you follow up with people at that point in time, you can see, okay, I talked to them 4 other times, I'm going to enter those dates. So just make it a living, breathing document that you're going to continue to build on every single day, and don't stress out too much. If people have said no to me, I don't want any more information, I decline, I turn them red. So I still want to track those people because when we have new products or new things or things change in their life, I'll follow up with them later. But they have explicitly said no. People who are white, I haven't talked to yet, that are probably most likely in relationship building. These are new contacts. And then I have people that are blue, people who never really are active on social media. They've kind of gone cold. Maybe I need to find them on Instagram or text them some other way to follow up. So it, again, this isn't for everybody, but I like Excel, I like colors, I like dates, and I just like holding myself accountable to that. I leave it on OneDrive, which is kind of a cloud service, so I can access this and edit it on my phone. My assistant can access it and edit it, or I can use it on desktop, so it's very versatile. So paper, note cards, first one, good old school Excel, second one, and then kind of your third option. There are many apps out there. They're called client management resources or client resource management, something like that. CRMs, I think is the name. Sorry if that's wrong. But real estate agents, I would say, are the main people who've used these in the past that I kind of heard of it. Well, we did a lot of research on which one. I tried a few different ones. Doe is kind of a basic tracker app out there for people who really don't, I think, like tracker apps and don't like Excel and don't want to get super deep into it. Doe is kind of a really simple app where you can upload your Facebook list and then it'll prompt you with who you should talk to this day, and you can set in there, I want to follow up with people in a week or 4 weeks, and then it will prompt you. So I think if big CRM apps overwhelm you, maybe Doe is a good spot to start. It's very affordable. I personally like ClickUp. ClickUp is definitely something, it's a skill that has to be learned. It's a program, a robust program that offers you a lot of different options, and to be honest, my assistant knows a lot more about it than I do. However, I really like the desktop interface and my phone. It's got an app interface, and we can set up all sorts of systems where we have all my current customers in kind of one bucket, and then we have inactive customers in another bucket, and then we have prospects in another bucket, and it's really easy to track who I've talked to when, and set up schedules for these people of when I need to check in with them, and it'll prompt me with to-do lists, and I can even save wording in there if you're not using boards to save your wording, which is honestly the best way to do it because you can add your team members in. But hopefully this was helpful. Gotta be tracking people some way. Don't let it overwhelm you. You will have to try more than one method. So be patient with yourself as you experiment with a few. And what works for a few months or a few years, you might have to change it up later, and that's okay.